Next question is to Dr. Ali Asgar. What is the recent status of sulfonylurea, ripaglenide, and pioglitazone in your country?
Thank you very much, Dr. Sana. First of all, before I begin, I think fantastic initiative by Endocrine Society of India. Hats off from Pakistan. And I think in collaboration with CEPHES for our people's awareness is a great step and is commendable. Now, I think very pertinent question. We are seeing new medications entering into the market in the last few years. And then these sulfonylureas, repaglenides, and the glitazones, they somehow are going back. If I see Pakistan, and if I go one by one, pioglitazone, I mean, we are writing it very sparingly now. The specialists are writing where it is needed, and probably non-obese, recently diagnosed diabetics who also have fatty liver. But otherwise, pioglitazone, because of the pedal edema, dilutional anemia, weight gain, and also exacerbation of heart failure, the usage of pioglitazone is going down as days are ticking by. As far as repaglenide is concerned, well, it's a fantastic short-acting secretagogue, and we know that we use it in certain situations like chronic kidney disease patients, where we know that 4 or 5 after meals, there can be hypoglycemia or low blood glucose episodes. So in these patients who have chronic kidney disease, we definitely use repaglenide. And then there is a tendency in Pakistan, and I am sure this must be there in India as well, and other nations in the subcontinent as well, to skip the lunch. I mean, our population is so busy earning, especially the lower middle class and the middle class, which forms a bulk of the population. They miss the lunch. And again, there is a possibility of going into hypoglycemia. So repaglenide dose in the breakfast and dinner is something that we prefer. And again, in the elderly population where there is chance of more hypoglycemia, repaglenide works well. Coming to sulfonylurea, I mean, at one time, we know this is a medication that has been there for last more than 6 decades. And still today, this is one of the most prescribed medications in diabetes in Pakistan. And I'm sure this is the same for the region. I mean, there are 2 important things. First is the cost. It is a cost-effective medication. So in Pakistan, we get sulfonylurea and metformin combination in 2 Pakistani rupees. I mean, that's pretty cheap. With 40% population living near the poverty line or just below the poverty line, sulfonylurea still have a role to play in this part of the world. I mean, at times, we definitely know SGLT2 inhibitors and GLP-1 analogs, they reduce mortality. But then controlling diabetes is extremely essential. Sometimes diabetes management in new medications, it gets lost somewhere, especially in people who cannot afford. So I think sulfonylurea, although in the world it's going down, but in this part of the world, it still remains to be an important medication, as is in Pakistan, because controlling HbA1c is one of the biggest factors in reducing cardiovascular morbidity and mortality. So I think we are still using sulfonylureas. Yes, pioglitazone is going down. Repaglenide, we still use it in selected patients.
Thank you. And same here also in Bangladesh also. Sulfonylurea is still prescribed in many patients, and also ripaglenide for elderly patients is a good choice here also. And pioglitazone actually is very infrequent. Especially in patients with severe insulin resistance, we use this drug actually. Thank you.